when our attention narrows down on an object, what happens is it gets the brain, all the activity of the brain, to organize itself around a certain activity, a certain topic, a certain relationship. Subject, object, and the relationship between the two. The connection is attention. And I talked about attentional fixation being the cause of stress. When you're fixated, all of your attention is focused very narrowly on this thing. You have no awareness, and the lack of awareness is, in a sense, one part of your brain, your frontal lobe, not working well to sort of stay awake and give you more perspective. Like the perspective goes away. You don't get a perspective on your perspective. You just stay focused, doing the same thing over and over, which, if you're focused on something you crave or you hate, will cause emotion. Again, now the emotion itself, think of that as energy and information. That will produce biochemical changes, which will then create the physical changes. You will change the architecture of your brain, and not just your brain, your whole body, all your cells change. You change when you get emotional. And then, because you're sensitizing yourself to a certain object, whether it's a person, place, or thing, being sensitized to that object, then come into contact with that object again, and the same thing happens again, but a little bit more so. Right? That's the repetition. And so if you put these three together, attentional fixation or concentration, emotion, and repetition together, you are going to get a very solid, you're going to learn, your body's going to learn how to produce a very solid state. Okay, so the truth of this is, and this is why it's important to focus on the truth, because if you don't know how this works, your mind-body network will keep doing what it's learned to do, and you will feel helpless. You will go and you will search outside of yourself for the cure. You will likely be given, because that's what happens in our society today, you will likely be given a pill, and the pill, although it may lower the intensity of your symptoms, and if it lowers the intensity of your symptoms and your life does change, like lucky for you, you get better, that happens sometimes, but that's just lucky. Most of the time, it doesn't happen that way. You take the pill, the symptoms get lowered, your life doesn't change in a really positive way, it kind of stays the same, and the way you've learned to focus stays the way you've learned to focus, and then the downward spiral keeps going, and then you need some more pills, and right? And God, believe me, I have seen it at the place that I work. Some people come to the place where I work, it's a rehab place, they are on like 16, 17 different kinds of medication. And the first one, well, yeah, that was for depression. But then because of the sleepiness, then there was also, something to get you up in the morning. And then that get you up in the morning would prevent you from sleeping at night. So you would take that thing, right? And it's a never ending, you are taking pills and pills for side effects. And I can feel the emotion in myself right now. Because I used to be on a whole bunch of pills too. And some of them, thank goodness they were there. Anybody knows what restless leg syndrome is? Okay, when I was really in the soup, and still sometimes when I get stressed now, I had restless leg syndrome, and I was already an insomniac, and so thank God there was a pill for restless leg syndrome. I mean, that is the magic of medicine. But mostly now, I don't have restless leg syndrome anymore. It went away. Why? Because I'm trying to manage my emotions day to day, and my nervous system now is not as sensitive as it was 15 years ago. It's different. Like, I'm a different person. I'm older, but my nervous system is, in a sense, is better. It's more tuned towards beauty, truth, and goodness than it was before, and that's where the healing has come from. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Because that's what we're doing. Nothing magic, but shifting our focus. Because if we don't shift our focus, it's going to be the focus that we already have, and which will produce the conditions we already have.